I grew up in a household, I'm the youngest of 4 children, and I credit a lot of this to my mom. She allowed us to have exposure to lots of different animals. We had a dog, we always had cats growing up. We had what we called day pets. So if you found a turtle, you found a snake, you could keep it, but you had to let it loose at the end of the day. So she really fostered in my other brother, who's a physician, the idea that you can learn about these guys, but we're not going to hurt them, right? So we're not going to keep a turtle for a week and then it dies. We're going to look at it for a couple hours. I think that helped me kind of grow my fascination of wanting to learn more and more about animals. I also got really involved with fish in about middle school. I had lots of aquariums, terrariums, things like that. I even worked in a fish store. I realized, I think, working in that setting, it was somewhat like what I do now. People came in with problems with their fish. They needed a new one or they were having problems with it, and we advised them on what to do to fix them. Okay, and it's kind of funny, but I do think that was my first step at veterinary medicine, was helping people pick out the right food and change their water better and things like that, because that's kind of what I do now. People come in with their pets and they need advice. I have a dog that early in my career, her name was Fannie Mae, that this young lady had hit with her car. It was not her dog. She scooped this dog up. It was an older pointer dog. It was an old hunting dog. She had hit it, broke its leg. Its leg was dangling. She brought it in on an emergency. And this dog was rough. It had tumors on it. It had ticks on it, fleas, all kinds of things. It ended up having heartworms as well. She fixed it. She felt bad about hitting it, but she was a very sweet young lady, and she totally fixed this dog. And this dog, Fannie Mae, I worked with for probably another 10 years, which was pretty remarkable. So between getting the leg plated, getting the heartworms treated, getting the tumors removed, all of the things, this dog lived a long, happy life. And this dog actually would hunt turtles. And every day when she would go to work, the dog would go out into the woods and find a box turtle and bring that box turtle back to the garage and set it in the back of the garage. And being a box turtle, it probably sits there for 5 minutes and then it comes out of its shell and starts to walk out. Well, Fannie Mae went out to get the second turtle. She would come back with the second turtle, put it in the garage. The first turtle had already walked out into the yard. She'd grab the first turtle and put them both back in the garage. This dog, for about 7, 8 years, that's all the dog did in the summer. And she would come home from work and get 30 turtles out of her garage. And that just tickled me, because one, we had fixed the dog. She loved this dog. And the dog, I think, had a really good time being a turtle herder. One of the coolest things I ever did, we had a cat a couple of years ago that had a big red swollen eye, and looking at it thinking, okay, maybe it's been a scratch or some sort of internal medicine problem, something like that. It actually had a parasitic worm in its eye called a cuterebra, or a wolf bot. And those little worms, we see them in the summer. They typically come out around the neck or through the skin, but those worms can migrate through different types of tissue. And so it's been seen before, but this one had migrated through the cat's eye. It was creepy. It was kind of cool, but kind of creepy. But we did surgery to go in through the cornea, pull that little worm out, stitch the cornea back up, and that cat did awesome. I'm married. My wife has a nonprofit. We have 3 kids that are 12, 15, and 17. They're very active between school and all of their sports. What I enjoy doing is like gardening this time of year. I play pickleball a little bit. I like watching movies, but reality is if I'm not working, I'm probably doing things with my kids. And that is a lot of times going to basketball games. One of my kids, my oldest, is a big bowler, a very competitive bowler. So I spend a lot of time in basketball gyms and bowling alleys. I consider myself to be a teacher. And so I've been practicing for 26 years. I've come across a lot of people. I like to think that I have taught people a lot of good skills. The phrasing I use with my kids is I want to raise good, competent humans. They don't necessarily have to be academically the most skilled, but I want to have good human beings. I think that applies in our veterinary space as well. Taking care of the pets is super important, and that's where we all start, but I think it's more about how we relate to people and that we treat our clients with respect and we treat our team with respect. I think in general, I am kind of a long talker. I'm not known for being quick, but I try that no one leaves the veterinary appointment without having all of their questions answered. And even if they didn't have questions, I'm probably going to teach them something else. I like veterinary medicine from the standpoint it's never boring. You know, some days we play with more puppies than usual. Some days we have hard medical cases and somewhat tragic situations that happen and play out. I like the challenge, I like the variety, and every day is a challenge just to do the best we can with what's in front of us. I think my family is the main reason I do what I do at this point. That's the main focus. I want to have a successful practice that I can take care of people, but at the end of the day, it's the little Craigs that are at home that I guess are the main focus.
Yeah.